Some people are not born into life. They awaken into a question. A large house. Thick walls. Quiet corridors. In this house, a child was born. His name? Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy. Tolstoy never remembered his mother, because she died when he was 2 years old. A mother a child cannot remember, never truly dies. She lives on as a void. I do not remember her, but I always felt her absence. A child does not understand death, but he feels it. He feels that something will never return. When Lev was 9, his father died too. From that day on, the house fell silent, and Lev realized people simply vanish. His brother Nikolai told him a story. There's a green stick buried in the forest. A secret is written on it. If someone finds it, people will suffer no more. Lev did not laugh, because some children do not believe in fairy tales, but some cling to them. If there is pain, there must be a reason. If there is death, there must be a meaning. And if there is a meaning, life is unbearable. Tolstoy never found that stick, but he never stopped asking that question. And that question would drag him down dark paths. Some people fear monsters as children. As Tolstoy grew, his fear changed shape. He no longer feared death, he feared himself. Tolstoy began to write himself. But this was not a confession. It was a court record. Today, I was weak again. I loathe myself. I swear to be better. Kazan University. Rules suffocated him. He wanted meaning, not obedience. So he left. Gambling was not entertainment. It was a way to lose control. The more he lost, the more he relaxed. The more he won, the more he felt ashamed. Every morning, the same feeling. Hatred for who he was the day before. And yet, waiting for the evening. Because evening is the hour of forgetting. Inside him, 2 voices fought every night. One said, "Be good." The other whispered, "Let go." And every night, the second one won. One day, he realized, if he stayed here, he would rot. There was only one way to escape this decay: to leave. War was waiting for him. Tolstoy was not running away, or so he thought. He was leaving behind a life that hated itself. In his mind, war was orderly. Officers were honorable. Death had meaning. War would cleanse him. But war was chaotic. No one knew what they were doing. Orders were contradictory. And death was random. Tolstoy felt true fear for the first time. Not noble fear. Animal fear. No one wanted to be a hero. Everyone wanted to survive. Tolstoy realized heroism is not written during the war, but after the war, by those who survived. The dead are silent. History is not rational. And war cleanses nothing. He began to take notes. Not a diary, an autopsy. Cowardice, coincidence, chaos, and the lies draped over them later. When he returned, he wasn't a better man, but he was no longer blind. He knew. If he wrote, he would write the truth, however disturbing it might be. Tolstoy sat down to write, not a novel, a reckoning. War and Peace did not begin as a story. It began as an objection. History books were lying. They glorified Napoleon. But in war, no one is in control. No one directed this war. Everyone was just swept away. History is the result of small fears and random decisions. This idea was dangerous because it told people, no one is at the wheel. He wrote the same scene dozens of times. He didn't want a beautiful novel. He wanted a true novel. Prince Andrei was disappointment. Pierre was the search. Natasha was fragility. He didn't invent them. He remembered them. When it was published, the world was stunned. This was a challenge to history, to heroism, to the way humans deceive themselves. Tolstoy had succeeded, but the void inside him remained. War explained humanity. But what about love? What about the heart? Tolstoy wanted to believe in love, in family. Sophia was young, intelligent, devoted. This marriage was supposed to be a sanctuary. Before the wedding, he gave her his diaries. Everything. The lust, the guilt. This wasn't honesty. It was a transfer of burden. 13 children. 5 died young, Tolstoy wrote. Sophia endured the pain. He began to write. A woman, married, in love, alone. Anna Karenina. This was not a romance. This was proof that love does not save you. Anna was not just a character. She was Tolstoy's fear. Passion destroying order. Morality failing. Society showing no mercy. He did not save Anna, because saving her would mean admitting she was right. And if she was right, his own moral order would collapse. When Anna died, Tolstoy wrote it. But what remained unwritten was this. What if there was another way? War kills the body, but family consumes the soul slowly. And love does not always rescue us. Tolstoy was now world famous, but the applause did not reach inside. He couldn't sleep. In the silence, the question returned. What is the meaning of this? I have everything, but I have no reason to live. This was not a metaphor. It was a diagnosis. He hid ropes. He locked away guns. He was afraid of himself. As a child, he feared death. Now, he feared life, because death was clear. Life was a blur. Then he asked, if everyone dies, why are we living wrongly? Tolstoy did not die, but the old Tolstoy stayed there. And he entered a new path, a dangerous path, against God, against the state, against himself. Tolstoy began to read again, not novels, the Gospels. The words were simple. Love. Do not kill. Do not retaliate. But the church did not live by these words. It blessed violence. It blessed the state. Tolstoy thought, if this is God's religion, there is a problem with God. He spoke out. Violence is immoral. Property corrupts. The state is the enemy of virtue. The church excommunicated him. Tolstoy was not surprised. He had already left. He wanted to give up everything. Money. Copyrights. But Sophia held on to life, to the children. This was a war between two different understandings of survival. Tolstoy finally felt calm inside, but the world was against him. And honesty comes at a high price. As people age, they usually harden. Tolstoy simplified. He returned to the memory of the green stick. A childhood game? No, a prophecy. He knew there was no single answer to save humanity, but there was a direction. Non-violence, simplicity, compassion. He worked with the peasants. He dug the earth. It was not a performance. For the first time, he wasn't acting. He didn't tell people, live like this. He said, I am trying to live like this. He found his direction. But this direction was pulling him away from his home. Some decisions are not made loudly. They are made at night, when no one is watching. Tolstoy stood by his bed. Was this an escape or a final act of honesty? He opened the door. Behind him, a lifetime, a wife, a family. But what he really left behind was his own contradictions. Sophia woke up. The bed was empty. Some departures scream by their silence. He wasn't going anywhere. He was just going away. The soul was ready, but the body could no longer carry him. He fell ill. A small station, Astapovo, the world's most famous writer, got off here. Silently, alone. The world waited outside, but Tolstoy remained inside, just breathing, letting go. He built entire worlds with his pen. He created emperors, lovers, and saints. But in the end, his world shrank to a single, small station. The mind that challenged empires was now just a tired heart, beating its last rhythm. He was no longer a writer. He was just a fragile body, surrendering to the cold. And outside, the tragedy was complete. Sophia was there, the woman who had given him her life. She stood by the window, staring at the dying face of her husband. She was inches away, but she could not enter. That closed door was the cruelest silence of all. Two souls who had burned together for 48 years were now separated by a piece of wood. When silence finally came, they took him back to the forest. He asked for no monument, no cross, no stone, no name, just earth. He was buried where he believed the green stick was hidden. He returned to the fairy tale, because in a world of pain, maybe a child's dream was the only truth left. Tolstoy died, but he left behind a ghost, a question that stares back at us from the mirror every single day. How should we live?